But recently there have been questions raised about the secret system by which they got their donations to His Highness, and about a key person in that system, Tajuddin Kurji of Vancouver, until 1990 chairman of the AgaKhan's Foundation of Canada. In fact, the $1 million intercepted at the BC border by the alert customs official was destined for Mr. Kurji. We'll never know for sure what he planned to do with it. We do know that Mr. Kurji was a key man in a vast network. The AgaKhan as leader was at the head. Just steps beneath him was Taj Kurji. He had a bank account in Switzerland at the Banque Multicommerciale, Geneva. It was a giant collection basket for donations from around the world. Vancouver, New York, Nairobi, Karachi. Donations collected in the Ismaili mosques, usually hand-carried for deposit to a Kurji account, then transferred to the AgaKhan's account at Lloyd's Bank in Geneva. Mr. Kurji didn't physically transport the money himself. He used trusted couriers. Taj Ismail is a director of his Vancouver company, Tajiko. Taj Ismail did a lot of business at this bank, the Toronto branch of the Bank of Credit and Commerce. Between 1980 and 1988, he deposited $65 million in cash here for transfer through the Royal Bank to Switzerland, to Mr. Kurji's account there. In the States, another courier, Nizam Alibi, Mr. Kurji's brother-in-law, often hand-carried money to Europe himself, taking time off from running a factory Mr. Kurji owned in Dallas. The factory eventually went bankrupt. Nizam was a frequent flyer out of Dallas, but while he was passing through London, British customs officers discovered he was often carrying large amounts of cash. He told them it was from a coffee business. They let him through, but they tipped off their American counterparts. The Internal Revenue Service put Nizam under video surveillance. At that point, they didn't know about the secret system for shipping tithe money. In any case, it's illegal in the U.S. to take any kind of money over $10,000 out of the country without reporting it. In Canada, there's no such reporting law.
Over here is a collection of surveillance photos that I had enlarged.
Scott Marshall, an eager beaver agent for the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, entered the picture and directed the surveillance of Nizam Alibi.
We obviously knew that from our initial investigation that Nizam Alibi was not a coffee dealer, and that they were somehow disguising, actually physically smuggling the money. We have suspicions it could be money for income taxes. That kind of volume could also be related to drugs.
Eventually, the IRS heard about the secret Ismaili system for moving religious money. But they didn't believe that was the case here. And for Marshall, anybody smuggling bags of cash containing millions of dollars is up to no good.
Why would a church smuggle currency out of the United States? This is not a dictatorship country or something like that where they'd feel that their money was in jeopardy or that type of thing. So, no, that would not actually change the illegality of it.
Marshall decided to set up a sting, but he knew he'd need help from inside the Ismaili community. Enter Al Hassam, who'd complained to the IRS about an unrelated shady deal involving his uncles. Marshall asked him to try to tempt Nizam with a money laundering scheme.
I did exactly as what I was requested by the government to say. I knew it was a sting operation.
And he knew he was setting up some old friends for a bad fall.
It was not an easy decision to make. But if somebody's going into the business of laundering money and is breaking the law of the country, that is wrong.
Al Hassam would meet Nizam in a hotel room where the IRS had installed a camera in a television set. Hassam, or an undercover agent, would give Nizam packets of money, ask him to send it out of the country, and then transfer it back to phony companies in the U.S. Nizam would get a 5% commission. It was standard money laundering procedure, and Nizam seemed to know the ropes.
وإلى عاد أخاهم هودا قال يا قوم اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره إن أنتم أنتم إلا مفترون يا قوم لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن أجري إلا على الذي فطرني أفلا تعقلون।
और हमने कौम आद की तरफ उनके भाई हूद को भेजा। उन्होंने कहा, ऐ मेरी कौम, अल्लाह ही की इबादत करो, उसके सिवा तुम्हारा कोई माबूद नहीं। तुम शिर्क करके अल्लाह पर महज बोहतान बांधते हो। मेरी कौम, मैं इस वाजो नसीहत का तुमसे कुछ सिला नहीं मांगता। मेरा सिला तो उसके जिम्मे है जिसने मुझे पैदा किया। भला तुम समझते क्यों नहीं?